My name is Cristian Temporal from grade 12 ABM Adam Smith, and I have finished my 80-hour work immersion at General Services Office, Provincial Government of Cavite. I was assigned at the Circuit Records Center of the department, wherein I met our mentor, advisor, and supervisor. With the help of them, I managed to gain knowledge on how a certain sector and department process various activities inside and outside the capital, on how the department handled the files that has been used to transact with other affiliates, external and internal. In the record center of the department, a lot of files is stored inside that sector. There are files that are being transferred in and transferred out. However, transferring files isn't a simple transaction. There are countless ways to transfer a file. I will start from the hardest way, wherein we have to segregate, itemize, numeralize, alphabeticalize, and there is also other files that are needed to be specific instruction to be able to be transferred in our department. We kept track of the files by using a transmittal forms. The transmittal forms contain the person transferred the files, who to be transferred, date, time, the sector, where it came from, and where it's going. Assuredly, this forms is needed to be signed by the person who is transferring the files and the receiver. This is called transmittal. In transmittal, we also have to encode them, and we also have to make a photocopy to be able to give and to be able to get a track of what files that has been transferred and what files are we are going to receive. There is also other transmittal wherein we have to go out of our department or our sector, that is called a liaison. The transferring of files coming from our department is going to the main office. For example, that I experienced is we have 5 files that is within our department that is needed to be transferred to other departments inside the capital. 4 in admin office and 1 in PTO. To be able to transfer a file, we have to um, get a signed contract or signed paper from the department that the file has been transferred in. And after the transaction, we have to go back to our department and record that to a certain book to be able to keep track of things that has been transferred in and transferred out. There are also files that is needed to be disposed, so we also have to make a transmittal form to dispose a file or a folder full of files in our sector, in our record center. We also have to do what you call the 201 files, wherein it contains the dates and the work of a person. For example, the files of GAYAM, which is um, the files of personnel of various hospitals within the Cavite. Um, in that file, in 201 file, it contains the name, the biodata of the individual or employee, um, where his or her work, and when did she or he work in that certain hospital. And it contains the the year when they retire or died or um, un, unattainable, because there are files that is called inactive, wherein that files has never been continued, or they are uh, they've been completely removed from the system, just like uh, just like the files that have been worked on. There are files that has a lot of retirement, usually retirement, but to be able to keep track of them, we have to get the dates of, for example, the summary or salary adjustment or retirement plan, and the some work summary, wherein we can see the dates they have been work on that hospital, or and their salary adjustment, or when did they retire. They are also we have also to encode that files in a Excel, um, because we have to adapt it in our 21st century, to be able to keep track at things, at files and names from that file. Um, we also have I also experience requisition and charge out. It is the file, and it is the paper that is needed to be filled out inside our sector, because our sector contains the records of um, different sectors in GSO. Um, in our department, or in our sector, there are a lot of files. For example, the AIR, which is a file that contains what the capital bought from a um, certain certain market. And there is also the PO, which is connected with the AIR. Um, in requisition, it contains the file that it has been um, that is needed to find, or that is being requested by the employees on the first floor. And the charge out pay slip naman is the slip that is needed to be filled out. It contains the number or the serial number of a file, and all of that we have to encode it in Excel also. But there are also to be able to keep track of things inside the record center, we have to maintain the non-current records, which are the records that has been 20 years old, 10 years old. We also have to classify records that has been transmitted to us, and we have to also classify the records according to function. So we have to find the certain department inside our record center to put their file inside our department. Into one files also, we have to label and pack them. This label and pack, I came up with this system to be able to keep track what file or what file has been recorded or encoded inside, and inside the computer. And we also did manually put a slip beside the 201 file, the the folders, to be able to keep track which file or which floor of the cabinet has been done, listed, or been encoded. Um, we also reviewed and segregate the POA without AR. So PO without AR is a little bit complicated, um, because some of the PO, for example, the 2021 PO, we have to segregate them and accord them through their serial numbers, because we have to keep track of them through their serial numbers, and we have to segregate it and numeralize it. The last one is the cleaning. We have before we start our day, we have to do a 5S, which is the sustain, straighten, and the others. Basta, we have to clean the office before we start our day, and they will have also clean as you go. We apply this wherever we go inside the capital, um, because cleanliness is one of the priority, and we have to follow it, or else we'll get reported. But it's good that we applied this in our capital to be able to make our capital clean and neat. Um, so overall, I gained the knowledge to be innovative, creative, and um, to be to be socially active, and by immersing myself in the industry, I realized a lot of things that being in the industry isn't easy, because we have to study. We have to study every little detail before we start, or else we get a one thing wrong, and we have to start all over, certain things. So a mistake, a little mistake can destroy a whole process of the activity or the procedure that is needed in the inside and outside the office. Um, so the next is, what have I learned? I learned that if you're working inside the capital, you have to consider a lot of things. You have to consider your professionalism, your um, I would say creativity, because we also have to be creative on how we are going um, to give instruction to our colleagues, and to be innovative, to be able to come up with a system just like I did on our 201 files, to be able to keep track of them, and to be socially stable, because being inside the industry, being introverted isn't gonna help you finish a job. So this I would put the no man is an island in this discussion, because to be able to um, process a file or a certain activities, we needed the help of others, just like our taxpayers helping the capital, or the students helping the teachers clean the classroom, the policeman helping the soldiers, and many others. The doctors, the nurse helping the doctors, just like that. So, with the help of assistants, we can finish a job within a certain time frame. Um, and most importantly, in the industry, we have to learn time management, because time is gold in the industry. We have to pass things, transfer things, and most importantly, learn things. And that's it. Thank you.